Let's dive right into this topic, guys. So, a lot of the stuff that I explain on this channel, right, and talk about, what we have to understand about it is that there's actually like a lot of regular people in this world that would not be considered a narcissist, that wouldn't be considered to have NPD and a personality disorder, but they still do like toxic stuff to other human beings. What separates the two is that because there's stuff going on all day, and like some people might say I over talk about narcissism on this channel, or think that some people are narcs whenever they're not, and I get that, but there is a lot of crazy manipulation stuff going on in today's world, and I think it comes down to selfishness. And I just know from my experience that there's people that have done things to me. There's people that have, I just look back at the past and I feel used in like so many situations. Nothing comes to mind. It's just so many situations that I felt used in, and like that's not going to sit well with me if you want to try to do something like that to me, because I'm going to cut you loose and you can fend for yourself at this point, because I'm going to do what I'm going to do at the end of the day. And I'm not a selfish person in that kind of a way. I'm selfish when it comes to myself and my work and the things that I do, but I don't take advantage of other people and use other people in a selfish way, because it's not a good feeling. I know how it feels. And a lot of that has happened to me in the past. And yeah, so I just think there's a lot of people that wouldn't even be considered somebody that has NPD, but they're still manipulative. They still do these things. And I think what separates the two is that narcissists literally do it to the next level. They'll go to a whole other level in doing what they do, and they feel no remorse towards the things that they do. They feel to the people that they do it to deserved it, or something like this. They literally thrive off of doing it. They're happy that they did it to you. And with other people, they don't necessarily might not feel happy for hurting you or something like this, but they still do like certain things that's negative towards you. And I think that's what separates the two, to be honest. But at the end of the day, it just, there's so much negativity in this world today, and it's hard not to focus on it when there's so much of it. Like, why can't people just take care of themselves and be positive? That's something I will never understand. How can you not be a decent human being and take care of yourself and just be better, do better? Like, I'll never get that. I'll never get how people can just do the things that they do. And something else I've noticed is that whenever like these narcissist type of people, because even people that might not even like be diagnosed with NPD, there's still narcissistic people out there when it's all said and done. And when these people cannot control you, and when you refuse to be controlled by these people, they're either going to come at you harder and be more angry and mad and just like show a lot of anger towards you, or they are going to cut you off, and they're just not going to have anything to do with you. And I've experienced both. I've had people in certain situations where they could not control me, and the look on their faces is just laughable, to be honest. To see how mad they are because they cannot control me, and I call them out for what they are doing. Right? It's laughable. And vice versa. Like, if you just continue to say no to these people, they're just going to vanish at a thin air. Because they're going to be doing this as somebody else. And I've had friends in the past that was like that, and once upon a time they were not like that. People change sometimes, and not for the better, for the worst, and their manipulation just goes to the roof. They have to do that so they can get their hands on what they want, and they just start treating you bad because they need to get their needs met, but they don't see the consequences behind the things that they're doing, which now you're in for a toxic relationship, a toxic friendship, and things like this, right? And it's just not going to go over well for the people involved, and they might even get mad for you calling them out. In my case, I've called a lot of people out, and they would either get mad or deny the fact that what I'm saying is true. And when it's all said and done, I'm going to say nothing but the truth. Anything I say, it is the truth, because I wouldn't say it if it wasn't. Anything I say, it's, it's definitely there. It's definitely real. And it's just annoying to be in these situations. But it's also a blessing to see how things go. And you know what? People do make mistakes. People do things and get themselves in positions where they're just not themselves, and they start to do things they wouldn't normally do. And they could come back to, like, when they're older or something like this. And at the end of the day, a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people do things that, like I said, they wouldn't normally do. So in my case, I am a forgiving person, like, when it comes to things like this, because I understand what the world is and how it works and how hard things can be for people. But I just still can't get how you can take it out on other people and literally use other people to sabotage friendships and relationships and things like this that once upon a time were so good. It's just not worth it to really get your hands on something, to really manipulate somebody to get your way short term. Is it really worth it? In my opinion, it is not at all. It's not, and it will catch up to you, and you will be sorry for the things that you do to others. You will. You will regret what you've done. And that's no way to live. That's why I don't believe in doing these things. And it's not like I would believe in doing these things, period, because it's just not in my nature to do these things. I have never done these things. I never will do these things. It doesn't matter how many times I get hit. I'm not going to turn around and do it to somebody else. That's why, in my mind, I just don't get these people. It just makes no sense. And you build a very, very, very bad reputation for yourself. Like I know a lot of people have. And that's never good. Because less people will trust you, you'll end up on your own, you'll end up homeless. Things like this can happen to anybody. That's why you got to be a good person. That's why you can't expect to do the things that you do and get away with it. At the end of the day, everything you do, good or bad, will be used against you. You do good things, it will be used in a way that will benefit you. You do bad things, it will be used against you. It will come back to bite you. It's a law of karma. It could happen in 5, 10, 15 years from now. But what goes around comes all the way back around and hits you in the face. That's why it's never worth it. Some people can't stand to go through any amount of struggle. So what do? Take advantage of other people, use other people, do dirty things to other people so they can make their life better by doing these things, because they don't want to go through any amount of struggle whatsoever. Some people use people for years, and then all of a sudden, they're gone. Now they're off to somebody else. Now they're doing something to somebody else. And it makes no sense to me. Because you're going to be the exact same person that does these things that's going to get a little bit older, and you're going to age not good. You're going to be that person that's paranoid to go everywhere because you just don't know what to say, don't know what to do to anybody because people hate you and you know it. Now, when it comes to myself, I am a very well-liked person, but I've had a fair share of hate over the years, not so much anymore, but and a lot of the stuff that I preach on this channel, guys, it does come from the past. A lot of it does. So it's not like a lot of it is right now, which some of it is, but a lot of it too is from, so you never know if I don't like explain that. But I do not get a lot of hate now. The most amount of it that I got was from the best progress that I've made, and a lot of people were misunderstanding me, and that can happen too. And I even forgive a lot of the things that was said, a lot of the things that was done in the past. But even good people, even people that mean well, can get hate, like short term or long term too. Like some things in life is just not fair. There's a lot of things that has happened to me, and I bet any money that has happened to you guys that is just not fair, because that's what life is. It is just not fair sometimes, and sometimes it is. I've had multiple blessings, and I've had multiple things where I was just like, in the time of my life, I'm like, I am cursed. Like, how could this be happening to me? How did this happen? And you just get those thoughts whenever things are going so bad, and when things go so good, it's just like, it gives you that new lease of life. And it's enough to keep you going. And I even feel like at my lowest times that I've experienced in my life, there was always something that just kept me going, kept me going, kept me going. And I believe you will never be handed enough to make you literally fold. You will be given everything that you can handle, and you will never be thrown everything that you cannot handle, if that makes sense. You might be on that breaking point, but like the universe will not let you go beyond that to the point where it's going to do something terrible to you. There's even people that did get homeless and stuff like this before and bounced back and got rich. Like, maybe that happened to them for the best. It opened their eyes to what they literally have to do now to make life better. And I believe even through all the things that I went through, it made me stronger as a person. It made me who I needed to be at the end of the day. So, everything truly does happen for a reason. I take everything on board that has ever happened to me. It's okay. It's okay. And other than that, we just continue on and keep putting one foot in front of the other, and things are going to be what it's going to be at the end of the day. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to cut this video short because I got another topic to do. I took a day off yesterday, guys. I felt a massive burnout, and I still don't feel 100%. I'm taking a little bit of time away from some other things, and even took, like I said, a little bit of time yesterday off of YouTube. But there's just a lot going on, and I'm that go-ahead type of person that I'm doing so much sometimes that I forget to breathe. Literally, like. And it's these nights where I can't say I don't get no sleep, because I do every single night, but it's like it's these restless sleep sometimes where it's just like I never felt like completely knocked out to get that full sleep that I needed, and it's more like a restless sleep. But anyways, I'm going to get to the next topic now, and I will be back.